1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Good morning,
1 2
councillors.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2
Next week, Tuesday, also.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Good morning, councillors. Can we please close the doors at the entrance? I need to open the meeting. We just need to confirm the quorum to start, and then I'll do the official opening. All right. All right. Good morning, councillors. The quorum is confirmed. We are currently 82 councillors in the house. May we please take our seats? You added the two that walked in. All right. The date is the 9th of March. 9th of March, 2022. The time is 10 o'clock. It is an ordinary council meeting of Mangaung Metropolitan Municipality. You are all welcome here today. The agenda that I'll be working from is on page 4 of your bundles. I would like to confirm that sufficient notice was given to all councillors of the meeting today. In terms of number 45 on the agenda, the applications for leave of absence have been received by the Secretariat and duly noted. I now want to move on to the item 46, the acceptance of the agenda. There's items from the Executive Mayor. There's items from the Speaker. There's no motions. There's questions. Item 54, item 55, and then item 56 is closure. I would now request mover and a seconder for the acceptance of the agenda, please. Councillor Davies. Councillor, what's his name? Councillor Kempfer. In that order, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, just with regards to the items of the Mayor, we didn't receive the documents with regards to the adjustment budget. So we are not in a position to discuss those documents because it was not attached. And then secondly, I sent you an email last week, Wednesday, requesting an item to be placed on the agenda with regards to the payment of political office bearers. If that can also be placed on the agenda.
All right, Councillor Kempfer.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to find out, you said there's nothing on motions. I would just like to do motions of sympathy and congratulations, please.
All right, thank you. Councillor Sibulau, you can come in.
Thank you, Honorable. Hello? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is on the report from the Audit Committee. I don't see the report of the former city manager here. So I don't know how are we going to deal with this one. It's not here, but they have highlighted that the former city manager's report is attached, but there's no attachment.
All right, noted. We'll need a support of the item before I put it to a vote whether it should be included in the agenda or not. And then, Councillor Davies, I just want to understand, are you proposing that we remove the item of the budget or to refer it? What is your proposal?
Yes, Madam Speaker, because we cannot deliberate it because we didn't receive the adjustment budget. So how are we going to deliberate on it and make an informed decision?
All right. Is there anyone seconding your proposals? Councillor Pretorius?
I second, ma'am.
Thank you. Councillor Executive Mayor?
Why don't we deal with this matter when we are presenting items? Because I don't think we are going to be far from what the councillor she's suggesting.
Councillor Mayor, are you saying that why don't we not deal with the matter? I didn't hear you properly.
No, I'm saying, why don't we deal with the matter? Because I don't think we are going to be far from what she's suggesting.
You're proposing that we keep it on the agenda, we keep the agenda as is?
No, I'm saying, when we present, let me preempt before I present, I think is one of the items that we are going to withdraw. That's why I'm asking, why don't we wait so that we formally withdraw?
All right, thank you. All right. Council Executive Mayor, you can come in on your items.
You,
All right. Let me deal with the other items,
Okay,
Major,
thanks.
and when we get to your items, you'll come in. Okay, we now move to item 47, motions of sympathy and congratulations. I'll take hands. Councillor Kamper, Councillor Malebo, Councillor Peter. Councillor Davis, point of order? Is it a point of clarity?
Sorry, Madam Speaker. And then just on the second request with regards to the email that I sent you last week for the item to be placed on the agenda, if we can then just also deal with that, please.
All right, thank you. Councillor Comfort, you can come in, then Councillor Malebo, and then Councillor Peter on the motions.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, Madam Speaker, we sympathize with each and every one of the families who have not only lost loved ones, but who are also being displaced from the place they called home. This is on the Russian war with Ukraine. Historic loyalty does not trump declarations of war. The ANC government must use our BRICS connection and counsel moderation and peace to the Russian government. Government must also ensure that Russia is held accountable to the international law. Unless South Africa does all it can to condemn the invasion and urge Russia to withdraw, it will be complicit in this needless war and have the blood of multitudes on its hands. This is the stance of the Democratic Alliance Darren Bergman on the Ukraine-Russian war. This ANC needs to do more to rectify, especially being the self-proclaimed liberation movement that it is. We sympathize with each and every one of the families. The UN has recorded 406 deaths and 801 injuries among Ukraine's civil population since 24 February 2022. Our hearts also go out to each and every animal who has been lost or rendered homeless due to this lawlessness. We call on the public of South Africa to aid in every manner possible. I would like to congratulate our matriculants of the Free State and Mangaung on their sterling job on achieving such high standards of passing and achieving of bachelor passes. This takes sheer determination and grit, taking into consideration the circumstances that most of our pupils have had to endure with a little service delivery happening within the province. We must reveal that even though students have done so well, up to 36 still have not received the bursaries that have been promised by the MEC of Education, Tate Magoa. We will do what we can to support you, as that is exactly what you need to take yourself further in this world. Well done on the hard work to each and every student. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
All right, thank you. Councillor Malebo.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Councillors. Speaker, as the Economic Freedom Fighters Caucus, we would like to send the following messages of condolences to the families of Fighter and the Secretary of 427, Fighter Dipua Mafanti and Fighter Vuiswa Monki Chaka. We also seize this moment to send our deepest condolences to two families from Ward 6, Peter Swartz, whose children drowned in Heidedal Quarry. The families has tragically lost their children in a drowning incident that took place in a quarry behind the Twin City Mall recently. Madam Speaker, this dangerous quarry continues to claim lives of innocent children in Heidedal for many years now without any intervention from government or authorities. When the same happened in Kwakwa, where children drowned in a similar fashion in a quarry in Maluti Apofu, the Premier of the Free State quickly jumped into action and promised swift action to ensure the closure of the dangerous quarry. But in Heidedal, every week, Devastated parents continue to discover gruesome drownings of their children, and nothing has been done by the municipality, Mangaung municipality. For how long should destitute families in Heidedal continue to count corpses of their children before the municipality can close or secure the dangerous quarry which has become known as the Valley of Death? To the residents of Heidedal in Ward 16, what will it take for the municipality to begin to take the plight of residents of Heidedal serious? Finally, let me also take this opportunity to congratulate the Sibiti boys, known as Mataitai, an inspirational football team from Botshabelo, for reaching the last 16th stage of the Nedbank Cup 2021-2022 season. Madam Speaker, the boys have made us proud by succeeding where many have failed, and made us proud by putting up a formidable fight against the serial PSL and African champions last night. Madam Speaker, this is a team that comes from the dusty streets of Botshabelo, which went on to lift up the flag of Free State and Mangaung in particular very high. Hayalala Yakuba. Congratulations, boys, for making us proud. And your qualification in the last 16 is an achievement on its own. Halala. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Malebo. Councillor Peter.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker and fellow councillors. The African National Congress ifuna ukuthi yavelana nabantu base Ukraine kalenhlekela ibaveleleyo. Also, the African National Congress encourages peaceful talks between Russia and Ukraine from the invasion of Ukraine since the 24th of February 2022. We therefore emphasize the call by the ANC President, Your Excellency Honorable Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, to the UN Security Council to pursue a peaceful and diplomatic resolution. This is also informed by the decision of the Republic of South Africa to abstain from the General Assembly vote on Russia because the resolution does not create a conducive environment for diplomacy, dialogue, and mediation. The ANC welcomes and applauds countries that has opened their borders and welcomed over 1 million refugees from Ukraine. We therefore hope that the ongoing conflict or war between Russia and Ukraine will be concluded peacefully and speedily so that it doesn't affect the global economy negatively. Let peace and calmness prevail so that the stability mhlaba wonke jikelele is achieved. We also like to pass the message of congratulations. The ANC would also like to congratulate Councillor Bheki Stofile, the Speaker of Machabeng Local Municipality, on his election as Salga National President. We believe with his vast experience, knowledge, and expertise, Salga is in good hands. We would also like to congratulate Councillor Mapaseka Ngwane on her election as NEC member of Salga. The congratulatory message further goes to the eligible Lipuzwa Speaker, Councillor Mathabo Leeto, for being elected as Salga Free State Chairperson. On the same note of congratulatory messages, we welcome the election of Mangaung Metro Municipality Speaker, Councillor Stephanie Lokman Naidu, as NCOP member, and also Councillor Puselezo Seleke, SPC additional member. Aluta.
Thank you very much, Councillor Peter. Is that all with the motions? Councillor Kruger, you can come in.
Madam Speaker, yesterday, the 8th of March, we commemorated International Women's Day and devoted to celebrating the achievements of women in seeking gender equality. The theme for this year was Break the Bias, and the campaigners are urging people to call out gender stereotyping and discrimination when they see it. Achieving gender equality and empowering women and girls is the unfinished business of our time and the greatest human rights challenge in our world currently, says the United Nations Secretary General. Pumla Williams writes, she says, 65 years ago, our nation was a very different place to what it is today. Oppression occurred on a daily basis, and women enjoyed almost no rights at all. It was a society characterized by repression, subjugation, and tyranny. The 1954 Women's Charter called for a single society that recognizes that women do not form a society separate from the men and therefore share the problems and anxieties of our men and join with them to remove social evils and obstacles to progress. Our democratic breakthrough as South Africa in 1994 represented the start of our journey as an inclusive society that cares for all. The empowerment of women in South Africa is about dealing with the legacy of apartheid and the transformation of society, particularly the transformation of power relations between women, men, institutions, and laws. It is also about addressing gender oppression, patriarchy, sexism, and structural oppression. It remains a sad fact that many women are still confined by both their circumstances and the prevailing patriarchy in society. Therefore, we must continue to fight the stark gender disparities that are evident across many areas of national life. The ANC is one of the political parties who are unapologetic in terms of empowering women, and this is evident in their 50-50 gender parity deployment rule. From local government, Madam Speaker, up until national government, we can see that it is evident that women constitute 50% of people from our local government until national parliament. Currently in Mangaung, it is evident in the ANC deployment even that we sit with a council of 50% females, and we are even under the leadership in this council of a female speaker, Ms. Stephanie Lockman. As we commemorate the strides that were made globally in terms of women empowerment and gender equality, allow me to focus your attention also on the painful reality that women in Ukraine are currently suffering. And it doesn't matter who's right and who's wrong currently. They say in the political circles, when two animals fight, it is the grass, unfortunately, that pays the price underneath. We are saddened with the fact that females suffer the most during wars because they are the victims of rape and they even get impregnated during these wars. But most importantly, any war results in food security challenges, and that affects us all. And our prayer is for that war to end and for the two countries to find common ground. And as a motion of sympathy, we also would want to sympathize with the families of the two children who lost their lives at Mshweshwe Road in the Rocklands. And also want to extend our gratitude to Mr. Freddie Kenny for availing his personal resources for free in assisting the municipality in cleaning parts of Mangaung, especially Ward 5, Ward 15, and Ward 16. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kruger. I think that closes it for the item of motions of sympathy and congratulations. Thank you very much, councillors. We now move on to item 48, which is announcements. I have recorded no announcements that need to come to the attention of council today. Unless there are anyone else with an announcement. If not, we close the item. Thank you very much, councillors. Item 49, we now deal with the confirmation of minutes. I just want to come in there before we start that. The first minute is the minutes of 8 December 2021, which was an ordinary council sitting, but the other 2 minutes are in-committee closed session meetings. So I think it will be more appropriate to deal with it when we have a next closed session, because we are joined by officials of the municipality and we are streaming on Facebook. So to protect the integrity of the discussions we had in closed sessions, I propose that we only confirm the minutes of the 8th of December 2021 and then stand over the other two in-committee closed session minutes when we have another closed session. Otherwise, it now might divulge our discussions we had in committees. I'm now on the minutes of the 8th December 2021. I believe it has been shared with all councillors. I will now allow inputs for corrections on those minutes. Did you share on email? Or do they have it in the bundles? All right, councillors, can we confirm the minutes of the 8th of December 2021? Is the council saying you guys are not confirming the minutes? That you were not present at the meeting and you don't agree with anything you discussed that day? If that's the case, can I please have that indication so that I can move on to the agenda? Councillor Dilly. What's going on? Thank you very much. Councillor Nikelo. Let's get the mic.
Okay. Now I'm on record. Speaker, I second the confirmation of the minutes of the 8th December. Thank you very much.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. And then, councillors, I need an acceptance of the proposal that we deal with the other two sets of minutes that were in committee and closed sessions at the next closed meeting we will have in the next month or two. May I please have a vote of acceptance on that? Show of hands in favor, please. In favor, yes. Show of hands in favor. Just allow us a few seconds to count. All right, thank you very much. Those not in favor, please raise your hands. All right, those abstaining from the vote? All right, thank you very much, councillors. All right, thank you very much. Those in favor of the confirmation of the minutes with the deferment of the closed sessions to a next closed meeting, 78. Those against, 0. Those against, 0. Those abstaining from the vote, 12. Point of
Movement of the minutes to the closed meeting. We did not vote for the to approve the minutes of the 8th of December. We walked out. I cannot approve those
okay.
minutes. So I think you mixed up two things. Thank you.
No, thank you. I remember, Prof. Neumann. That's why I asked, unless you are saying you were not. Yeah, I remember you walked out. Look, I asked, I said we are going to deal with the minutes of the 8th December, right? And then refer the closed sessions to the next closed meeting because we are now joined by the public on Facebook and by officials. So I don't want us to compromise the credibility of those discussions. So I was now proposing we vote for the confirmation of the 8th December 2021 meeting. That is what we voted for. So, and then remember I said we are now voting for the confirmation of the minutes, né? And then for the deferment of the closed minutes to the next closed meeting. But if there's no...
Somebody who confirmed the minutes of the proposal and somebody seconded it, we don't vote for it.
No, it's
It was
fine.
already accepted.
Yes.
So why did we have to...
No. For the deferment of the other two. So I combined some of the whole item. But it's fine. It's okay. We confirm via the motion and the secondment the 8th December meetings, and then via the vote we confirm the deferment of the other two sets. Secretariat, please note it like that. Thank you very much, Councillors. Councillor Davies, you covered. All right. I'm on page 6, councillors now. I'm moving to page 6 on the, wait, take that away, on the agenda. Page 6 are now the reports of the Executive Mayor, item 50. And there are about 4 items to that. Executive Mayor, you can come in.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, Deputy Executive Mayor, Chief Whip, Mayco members, councillors, officials, citizens of Mangaung as well as the media. Let me confirm, I didn't call the Deputy Executive Mayor before I came to this meeting. And I didn't request her to wear the way that she's wearing. Maybe she can stand up. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on Monday we had the Mayoral Committee meeting. On that Mayoral Committee meeting, we raised few matters. We spoke about the dirtiness of Mangaung as well as the potholes. We gave instructions to the officials, and we had repeatedly warned them that if there's no change, we are going to do something on each and every directorate. And we said to them, they are highly paid. We don't understand why the city looks like this. Last year, we indicated that we are going to join Ivuma Awards. By so saying, we were forcing them to do something about the city. We went further to say we are going to sign performance contract with the Mayoral Committee members, so that the Mayoral Committee members in their departments or portfolios, they must play that oversight. They must also assist the ward councillors where they are. We want everybody to do what is expected. Madam Speaker, my tie, when they leave Botshabelo, I so wish I was part of them. They left Botshabelo and they played in Pretoria. It's a milestone. And I think they deserve congratulations. There's a young boy in Mangaung, Beer Master. He went to George and played in the dimension data. That boy represented Mangaung very well, represented Free State very well, and he represented South Africa very well. He is now the champion of dimension data. And last year, the champion was Wilco Ninabek. And I think it's proper for us also to congratulate them, the two of them. They are from here in Mangaung. It's important for us as a city to put a separate fund to assist all sporting codes, which the people of Mangaung must contribute to. And all political parties are going to be part of that, so that they play an oversight to that fund, which is not going to be a fund of the city. I'm saying this. This weekend, I think we need to congratulate the city by hosting Mangaung Open. Yes, the city didn't contribute anything. It started small, but I think it's a milestone that brings investors in our city. And it's so bad that the world was here and the city was so dirty. Madam Speaker, it cannot be right that our women are abused, are treated badly, and we as men were quiet about it. It's for us as men, as councillors, to sympathize, but at the very same time to do something. I'm now encouraging, we're making a call to all ward councillors to have sessions in their different wards on matters that affect our women, our children, and young people, where they live. It can't be right. We also are going to make a roadshow. We must sympathize with our young girls, with our women, to make sure that we understand their plight. We're part of them. I was in Mangaung. I was watching the television when there were unrest in KwaZulu-Natal, and I saw how they lost their investment. And I watched also the television when they lost their investment in Gauteng. It was just an unrest. It was not a war. And again, I also watched the television and I've seen the building that went down when it was bombarded by the war between Ukraine and Russia. And it was so sad when the parents lost their children in the process. That created orphans. That created divorce by not designed. And that in itself, it creates poverty. And there's a position of our government to encourage peace. And we understand the after effects of the war. But we are talking about the war that is happening outside our borders. But that war is affecting us on oil and many other things. And we as Mangaung were also encouraging our leaders, wherever they are, wherever platforms that they are getting, we are saying as Mangaung, we sympathize with those who are involved, and we are also saying they must do everything else in their power to encourage peace settlement. The whip of DA requested us to withdraw the adjustment budget. I must just indicate that we made a request that we must table it before the 15th of March, which was granted. So the adjustment budget is done, but yet we're still waiting for the National Treasury to come back to us. So because of it's not yet back, this item, we are withdrawing it. The macro organizational design, we're also withdrawing this item. The recruitment and selection report, we are also withdrawing this item. The report on the city manager, we are also withdrawing that item. All items that are not mentioned will be entertained by council. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Executive Mayor. Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Sibulau, you can come in.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can the Executive Mayor just give us the reasons why he is removing all the other items, please? Thank you.
All right, just wait. Councillor Executive Mayor. Councillor Executive Mayor, in terms of your reasons, you gave us
Okay,
the
thank you
reasons
very
of
much.
the first one.
The report that deals with the macro structure. Currently, we've got 9 HODs. In National Treasury is reducing those HODs to 7. It requests us to combine some of the departments. So the EMT is busy with that. So once they finalize, they are going to come back to us. We believe that next week, Tuesday, if not Wednesday, we are going to have a council meeting that is going to consider this. I'm speaking under correction. I think Tuesday is before the 15th, ne? Yes.
Tuesday is the 15th, Executive Mayor.
15th Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then obviously we are going to have a council meeting on the 15th to deal with this matter. The recruitment process, because this item, it's also talking to this one. And it necessitates us to also withdraw it. Because when we advertise, if you are HOD, corporate, we must on the advert say this is for HOD so and so. So they are still combining once they are done. By Tuesday, we need to have a council meeting that will approve that. The report received from the acting city manager. The acting city manager is finalizing its report properly. Remember, we had a very short period of time. So on Tuesday, also the same item, we believe that is going to be part of the council meeting. In other words, most of these items will come back on Tuesday when we've got a council meeting. Thank you very much.
Councillors, settle down. Executive Mayor, there's 2 issues. It's the item 4. You also propose that it be withdrawn, eh? The selection panel for the city manager position.
You are requesting
Or is
us
it
to withdraw it.
No,
also.
no, no. I'm asking. There's the item 4, and then I heard you talking about the report. There's 2 items relating to that. Are you meaning 55, or you're only dealing with your items 1 to 4 under section 50?
Can you repeat, Madam Speaker?
We are now, remember I introduced your items, which is 50.1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
You've only dealt with those 4, ne?
Yeah, the 4.
All right.
Remember, we are going to deal with it.
Yes.
Yeah,
On
in
15.
other words, we are not withdrawing it.
Okay, so you are proposing that it be deferred to the 15th of March meeting?
Other items except item 4. One, two,
Okay.
3, we are withdrawing.
Deferring
4, we are going to entertain it.
on 15.
And then 55, we are also withdrawing. Other items, I'm sure, are items of the Speaker. Thank you very much.
All right, so item 50.4, you want us to discuss it, right? The report in the selection panel for the vacant position of city manager.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Councillor Sibulau, you are yet to come in.
Thank you, Speaker. I don't know exactly what is happening with this mayor.
I can't hear.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what is happening with the mayor. He tabled 4 items and he withdrew all of them. Now, all of a sudden, he's jumping to an item that he did not talk about, item 55. So he's going to leave this one of selection panel of the vacant position. But I'm not there. You know, my heart is sore, Speaker. And in this council, we speak of confidentiality. Whatever that you are doing here is supposed to be confidential until it reaches the council. He spoke about the golf that we do not know as councillors. EFF wrote a letter to Rule 38 asking questions about the golf. The same mayor, together with his PA, organized golfers and went to read the letter for the golfers. So I'm not sure what he's trying to do there, because he's just bringing friction between EFF and outside people, as if we are not for the development. I want this thing to be investigated. It cannot be correct that the mayor will leave, instead of responding to our request, he's going there to the golfers and read the letter for the golfers, what the EFF is saying. That thing, what he did is wrong, and it must be condemned. Please, it must be investigated. It's wrong, and it must be investigated. Thank you.
Councillor Sibulau, thank you. Your point of order, Councillor Ojili.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. No, Madam Speaker, I was just getting confused that we are in the tabling of the items. And
Councillor Sibulau.
Councillor Baba is coming with other version while we are in another version. Can you please assist, Speaker? Thank you.
All right. No, it's fine. Thank you very much. Councillors, but I didn't recognize you yet. Sit quick. Let me just talk. We are now trying to confirm the agenda items. We are on the withdrawal or proposal of items. We are trying to finalize the agenda to actually start the business of the day. So I don't want us to introduce too many side issues that will now lead to many points of orders and many replies. Can we please also try to keep our meeting as controlled as possible so that we are able to deal with the actual business of the day? Can I make that request, councillors, please? And that we don't, throw many things that are not part of this agenda. If there are questions that need to be answered and addressed, there is processes for that, Councillor Sibulau. But I don't want us to, because if I allow you to come in, points of orders come in, and then I must allow you to respond, and then it will just create chaos. And I need my meeting controlled. Please, can I ask you, councillors, to let us stick to the agenda and what we're currently doing. The mayor's proposed withdrawal of items. We are now except for, and that's where we are now. And now I'm now allowing inputs and further inputs so that we can confirm the agenda. Councillor Snyman, you can come in.
Thank you.
Councillor Sibulau will come in after.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have to agree with the councillor of the EFF. The mayor did say he is withdrawing 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then the DA asked him why, and then all of a sudden, he only withdrew 1, 2,
Councillor Snyman, you must speak
and
in the mic now.
And then he added that he's withdrawing 55. And my question is, why is he withdrawing item 55? If he can just please explain that to us
Pause,
as well.
Councillor Snyman, Councillor Morake, point of order, and then Councillor Nikelo.
Yeah, I think, Speaker, is really unprocedural when executive mayor withdraw items and it be entertained by the council. I think, Speaker, we need your protection as the Speaker of Council. And what is worse, Executive Mayor went further to explain why he is withdrawing. Yeah, I think it's unfair because in terms of delegation of powers, the Executive Mayor is the head of the council and he has executive powers to present and withdraw. And all this is surrounding about issue of readiness of the items, and which was thoroughly explained. Can you protect the Executive Mayor, Speaker? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Nikelo, and then Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Mangale afterwards.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Sorry, Pretorius Sibula.
Madam Speaker, item 55.
No, sorry, Councillor Pretorius, it was Councillor Nikelo first. Apologies. Sorry, Councillor Nikelo.
Madam Speaker, I think Councillor Morake has covered me because Executive Mayor, after he presented or after he requested or rather move Ukuti he's withdrawing certain items on the agenda. He was requested to say why. And Umtanagatik stood up and explained Ukuti why those items are being referred back. I think one of his statement was that as well. These agenda items would still be entertained within this council by next week on the 15th. And therefore, as a result, I also want to say, Speaker, please, protect Elonyana Gatiko so that these items will be discussed next week. And I support what the mayor has said. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Sibulao, and then Councillor Mangale. And then I want to finalize this portion of the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I think the Executive Mayor must also respect this House. We made a council resolution last week for point 55. I'm not sure if he's got the powers to remove this item. We gave 7 days for the city manager to report on this, and we humbly want to ask, please, can we entertain it in committee? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sibulao, and then Councillor Mangale.
Speaker, I agree with Councillor Pretorius. I mean, we took a resolution in this council that the report must be presented. Now, why all of a sudden? And after he has withdrawn the first 4, later when questions are asked the reason, he jumped to question number 55. It cannot be correct. And secondly, Speaker, this thing of bringing items to be discussed, when they're supposed to be discussed, they are withdrawn. We are wasting resources that we don't have as a council. Papers have been printed. Now we come in here, you withdraw willy-nilly, and nothing is going to happen. This thing must stop. Let these items, the problem is this thing, they don't go to committees. They just come direct from officials to the council, because our committees, they don't see it. That's why when they come here, they are useless. Please, we must do this thing correctly.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mangale, and then I want to move on, please.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, we want to help you to run your meeting well. We want this council to run well without any hindrances. There is a big problem here. The first one is that items come to this council while items should have served in the subcommittees. Now, subcommittees are not sitting. Now, this is where the first problem starts. The second problem, Speaker, is what the mayor have said. When the mayor was referring to the golf, where you said investors were coming and all that. So you are the one who introduced the topic of golf without being provoked. It was out of excitement. But you also raised the matter that also grabbed the attention of EFF about the same shenanigans that took place at the golf course. Now, to protect the mayor, we would also support that what EFF have raised, that there should be investigation. There should be investigation. Our mayor should not be implicated on things that he has not done. So if he has done it, there must be investigations. If he has not done it, there must be investigations that will clear him or be able to expose this matter and bring this matter to finality. Madam Speaker, I'm raising these issues because I'm aware that there is confusion in this council. One councillor stood up and saying that the mayor is the head. It's not aware that when we have to define the power relations between the council and the mayor, who is the arbiter, the final arbiter between the council and the mayor, they will be found wanting. They want to make the same mistake that the MEC made last time when he approached the court. Now we are calling on the councillors to go and read Municipal Systems Act and read Municipal Structures Act so that they can be able to understand this legislation and this confusion can be brought to an end.
Councillor Shale, on this side, you guys have been, can we please just maintain the decorum of the House? That you can't make comments like that. We are live streaming. There's a level of professionalism that we are applying here. So can we please respect the House and not make comments because you are interrupting the feedback and you are just causing disruption. I'm only going to address it once, and if it happens again, I'll make a ruling. Continue.
Speaker, what I'm saying is that all of us as councillors present here, we should respect the supremacy of this council in terms of making decisions. That not even a single individual in this council has got the power above this council. This council is the final arbiter. I thank you, Speaker.
All right. Thank you very much. We now move on to the next item 51, the reports of the Speaker, the mid-year Audit Committee report to Council. And I would just like to confirm something. I received an email now about the chairperson of that committee. All right. We received an email this morning that the chairperson of the Audit Committee has fell ill and is unable to make the meeting. So he is not here to present the report. I think on this one, I need to request that it be deferred to the 15th of March to give him time to recover. He has also not sent a replacement for the report. I can even circulate the email this morning saying that he's sick and he will not make it. That's my dilemma, councillors. So on that basis, I would like to request that this report also be deferred to 15th of March. That's a proposal. Councillor Mokoena, Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Chair. Speaker, I just wanted some clarity. I know that in terms of compliance, if there is any adjustment budget, it needs to be done by the 28th of February. I don't know whether I am correct. The executive mayor has decided to withdraw this item and did not include in it the adjustment budget. This council, in terms of compliance, it is the body that would be not complying if this is done late. So through you, Speaker, and the executive mayor, I don't know what is it that you can advise this council, because we can't take responsibility as a council for something that has been done because of failure of the executive to bring to this council and to willy-nilly withdraw without giving us an explanation and requesting the approval of this council. That's my first point. The second point, Speaker, relates to item 2. I know that we have had reports and troubles around the 105 staff members and the fact that the macro structure has not been approved for placement of people in the public office bearers' offices. And some of the party PAs were not paid because they were put in as part of this basket of people that were unlawfully or whatever it is appointed. And I'm not so sure in withdrawing this, we're still going to penalize people that did the right things in the right proper manner in terms of this thing, or that issue relating to the remuneration has been resolved. I would like to get those two clarity questions in terms of these two things. Thank you, Speaker.
All right, thank you. I think the Mayor has duly explained the reasons for the budget issues. I think he has taken Council into confidence and has explained the reasons for the deferment to next week, and I think it is sufficient, the explanation. In terms of your next concern, the Democratic Alliance has submitted a motion via email, and that item of the political office bearers will serve under item 53 as proposed by the Democratic Alliance via their motion on email sent last week. So that will come in later. I've dealt with my item on this Audit Committee report. The chairperson is ill, so he's not here. I request that it be deferred to next week, 15th of March. In terms of 52, that item stays there. That report is available. And then 53 is the motions which I've just announced. It comes from the Democratic Alliance, who are here to present it. They also have proposed and seconded their proposal. And then item 54 is questions. And then the last item is item 55, reports to be dealt with in committee. Councillors, that concludes the agenda items. Obviously, I will now put it to a vote for everyone to agree on those items as per the agenda. Councillor Nikelo, you want to come in? And then Councillor Davies.
Honorable Speaker, may I humbly request you, before perhaps maybe we can even vote on all of these issues, can I humbly request a 10 minutes caucus so that we deal with this some issues urgently.
All right. Councillor Davies, do you want to come in? Are you fine? Councillor Khanaka?
With all due respect, Speaker, they've taken all the items of the agenda. Now they want to sit down and waste 10 more of our minutes. That is unfair. They should have come prepared to this meeting. It's not right.
Councillor Khanaka, a caucus is allowed for any reason at any time. Let us not make the things difficult, because if it was the other way around, I would have had to grant it for any other political party. Can we please not create issues? Let me allow a 10-minute caucus for the ANC before we vote on the agenda, councillors. We'll come back. Please be back at 11:20. We must stick to time, councillors. It seems we won't have a long meeting. Thank you.
Testing. Test 1, 2. Big time. Testing. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing. Testing 1, 1, 2. Oh. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing. 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 Hold. Testing. Testing. Okay. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing. Testing. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing. 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 Okay. Testing. Testing. Testing 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. But one thing pula mona ha ke le mona ha khono thola recording. Testing 1, 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test. Testing. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing 1, 1, 2. Okay. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Test. Test 1, 2. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing. Testing. Yakina. Testing 1, 1, 2. Okay, I'm getting. Testing 1, 1, 2. Yeah, it's really. Testing 1, 1, 2. Testing 1, 1, 2. Test. 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 1, 2. Testing. Testing. Test 1, 2. Test. Benny. Testing 1, 1, 2. Test. Testing. On feed. Testing 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. 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 Test. Wait. Test. 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 On sharp.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 1, 2.
All right, secretariats, officials at the back, gallery, councillors, can we please be seated? All right, thank you, councillors, thank you. Can we please restart? Can we be seated? Councillor Terblanche. What is Councillor? All right, thank you, councillors. Thank you, councillors. Thank you for the opportunity for the caucus session. I will now ask the Chief Whip from the ANC to just give us a report on the caucus for us to conclude this agenda item.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I rise to indicate to the House, siyanibulela ngokusinika la elaxesha elethu. Anyway, it was our time. We had a right to request it. And then we want to indicate to the House that we have agreed as the caucus of the ANC to defer all the items as the executive mayor has requested to the council that will be convened not later than the 15th of this month. Therefore, we are saying, as the executive mayor has moved, we support what the executive mayor has requested. All items will be deferred to the meeting that will be called before the 15th. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Councillors, I'm going to read out the items that will be discussed today, and then I'll allow for approval of those items. So what we will be dealing with today is the report from MPEC, the motion on the payment of political office bearers as proposed by the Democratic Alliance, the report on the questions in terms of Rule 38 of the Standing Rules and Orders, and then we'll close the meeting for today. The rest of the items, councillors, apologies, will be deferred to the meeting of 15 March, which is item 1, 2, item 50.1, 2, 3, and 4, item 51.1, and then item 55 will all be deferred to the meeting of the 15th of March. So what we'll be dealing with today is the items that I have presented. I'm only going to allow 2 or 3 inputs on it, and then I'm going to close this matter and allow for the confirmation. Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Sibulao, and Councillor Mangale. After that, I'm going to make a ruling and we're going to finalize this item, councillors.
Speaker, like I alluded earlier, it's really important that we respect this House, Council resolutions that was taken, and the report from the City Manager must serve today. That was our resolution last week. Let's respect the House, and please, item 55.1 must serve. Thank you.
All right, Councillor Sibulao, then Councillor Mangale.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also support that the item 55 must serve. It cannot be deferred because we had a resolution about this matter. Let the ANC councillors, in particular the Chief Whip, do his work. Please, stop being partisan. Do your work in the council. Every time you are confusing these people, stop doing what you are doing. Thank you.
Councillor Mangale.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I also don't support the withdrawal of item 55, as this item is not the item of the mayor, but it's an item of the council, and it has been brought properly to the council, emanating from our resolution. So, if there is any institution that can remove this item, it's the council, not any other individual. I'm going back to clarification of our role, why we are here. We are here to come and defend the integrity of this council. Now, the item 55 cannot be withdrawn.
All right, thank you, Councillor Mangale. You raised the point, Councillor Morake, or you're fine? I'll have to put it to a vote, miss.
I think that honorable member must stop misleading council. I said it the last council and he's now repeating it timeously. When we were inaugurated here, we voted for the mayoral system, which executive mayor is being given delegation of powers. It means items of executive are presented by the executive mayor. Now, I don't know which legislation maybe must give us that legislation that says council has the right to discuss any issue that they want to discuss, which is not from either Section 80 committees or study groups, or that is not presented by the executive mayor. So now, maybe we must clarify what is the mayoral system of this council, so that maybe honorable councillors must have a proper clarity, so that when they participate, they don't create confusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morake. Councillor Snyman, you can come in. Then I want to finalize this item, councillors. Oh, after Councillor Snyman, last Councillor Khanaka, then can we please resolve this item?
I'm speechless. Saying items must come to council if it's from a Section 80 committee or wherever. We don't have Section 80 committee meetings. We don't have Section 79 committee meetings. How on earth will anything come to council if that's the way you want it to come? So please, tell the chairs of the committees to start doing their work. Tell the Mayoral Committee members to start doing their work. Tell the executive mayor to please start doing his work. Then maybe we can have a fruitful council meeting. That's the first thing. And I'm not speechless anymore. The second thing is, please go and read Delegation of Powers. Please remember, we can remove your mayor with a motion of no confidence. And we will do so if necessary. And remember, if we remove him, we remove a mayoral committee as well. So please, be careful what you wish for, because you might just get your wish. Thank you.
Councillors, let us not threaten each other. Can we just please respect the decorum of the House, councillors? I've received a request from the Impact Chairperson. He must not say what he wants to do.
Thank you very much, Speaker. In fact, this item is for noting, Speaker. But I must indicate to the gallery, on the 31st of January, the annual report was tabled in this council by AG. In February, initially, we were supposed to have public participation. That's why, if you check the recommendations in my letter here, the Speaker be mandated to finalize the office of the staffing of MPEC. With due respect, we are expecting that. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Councillor, the sound in this auditorium is very bad, just generally. I heard nothing you said. I think, can you just speak over the people?
Thank you very much, Speaker.
Yes.
On the 31st, in fact, initially, this item is for noting. But initially, on the 31st of January, the Auditor General tabled the report of annual report in this gallery. Initially, on the second thing, on the February, we are supposed to be busy with public participation as MPEC committee. We never did that. That is why recommendation 3C says, Speaker be mandated to finalize the office of staffing of MPEC. With due respect, we are expecting that. Thank you very much, Speaker.
All right, so let me then leave the item as is on the agenda, and then we'll then note your recommendations as per the normal process. I wanted now to have an indication, are you proceeding on the item or what should we do with it? So it's fine. Thank you. Councillors, there's now two proposals on this agenda item. We'll need to put it to a vote. There's a proposal and a secondment of the items I've presented with the exclusion of those that will be deferred as proposed by the executive mayor and seconded by Councillor Nikelo. Then there's the counter proposal of the items that I've presented, but with the inclusion of item 55, which was also seconded. So I just want to make it clear what we are voting for this time. That it's the agenda that I've mentioned without item 55, that it be deferred and all those other deferments. And then the second vote that we'll vote on is the agenda that I've mentioned, 3 or 4 items, including item 55. Okay. So let me start with the first vote.
Sorry, Speaker, I still have to speak.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Ganaga. You can come in before we vote.
Yes, before we vote. Speaker, I'm very, very worried that we're also going to defer item 50.4 to maybe the 15th. We have to start with this process to select a city manager. We are in all of this mess that we are in the courts and in the public because we do not have a city manager. With all due respect, the meeting was scheduled for Monday. My entire weekend went towards preparation for this meeting, which was scheduled for Monday. The meeting then, on the last minute, Sunday evening or whenever, was then postponed today on Wednesday. Then the ANC caucus went to a caucus to take back a very important part of the functions of the city. Now they want to discuss it on the 15th. If we do this on the 15th, what will happen after the 15th is that we'll select a panel, maybe. Then the meetings still have to sit. So by the rate we're going now, we're going to have a city manager in 2025. Can we make up our minds, do what we're supposed to do, and select a city manager? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Executive Mayor, Councillor Nikelo. Then we need to vote on this item, on this agenda.
Thank you. We are about to vote, but
Yes.
I just want a clarity. And did I propose for all these items to be withdrawn? But you said this one of 55, it should be on its own, or it should be part of the items of the Speaker. I just want a clarity.
No, there's two proposals, that we go with your proposal as seconded, and then there's the next proposal that says it must be included to be discussed today.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other clarities? Councillor Nikelo, you're fine. Councillor Sibulao.
This is just a humble plea to you, Honorable Speaker. When you said Councillor Mokhadu will be the last person to speak, but every time when the executive mayor raises up his hand, he will raise up the hand and speak, and you allow him to do that. Please don't allow this gentleman to ambush you. Please, we are all councillors here. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sibulao. I will not allow ambush on me. Everyone must also not ambush me. Councillor, you see now, I was just protected by the councillor. I'm not going to get involved in this thing. Let's not, I only allowed one councillor. I need to put a vote, otherwise we're never going to finish. Are you guys clear on what we are voting for first? We are going to vote for the items as I presented, which is the functioning of the Impact Committee, the motion on the payment of political office bearers, questions in terms of Rule 38, and then closure. That is the first proposal with the secondment that we are voting for. The second proposal will be those items I've mentioned, but with the inclusion of item 55. So, the first vote, Councillor Rampai, is it a point of order or clarity? You can give him the mic.
Speaker, I'm scared where I am.
You are?
With regard to what you are proposing. You must remember, if you are about to divide your house with regard to the decision that was taken by your house, be careful there. I will propose, call the whips of different parties and reach a solution about it. Because that decision about this item 55 came as a result of the resolution of council. So there is a new law that saying councillors will be personally held liable for whatever decision. So I don't want that to happen to you. If you are to divide your house, can you resolve this amicably, please? Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Councillor Nikelo, it's one party. Can you come in, please, Chief Whip of the ANC? No, you can speak to me about it.
Okay. Hey, Speaker, I think you had already advanced on this matter, indicating that you are about to divide the House in terms of voting. And I propose, Speaker, that as proposed by the Executive Mayor, we stick to what the Executive Mayor has indicated and we vote on this matter so that we lay it to rest. It is just the Speaker. There is no one who's saying whatever items that have been deferred back, they will never be discussed in this House. We are just saying these items will be discussed in the council meeting that will be called on the 15th. So the understanding is there is nobody who's saying we are no longer going to discuss this matter, because these matters are matters of the council and will still be discussed by this council. So, but they will be discussed on the 15th. The only issue is that they must serve the way that the Executive Mayor has requested. So with all due respect, Honorable Speaker, I request you, as you had already concluded on the matter, let us go to vote on this matter. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I'm now going to open the voting processes. I've presented two proposals, the items with inclusion of 55, the items excluding 55. We're going to start with the first set of the votes. I need a Councillor Sibula, there's not two council meetings. You can't start the meeting in a meeting. I'm going to start with a vote for the first proposal by the Executive Mayor, seconded by the Council Whip. Those in favor of that proposal, by a show of hands, please. Just check. Yeah, you're I'm his brave. He's brave. And it's something that I will discuss with the DM because we're going to achieve nothing like this, I'm telling you. All right, thank you very much. Those not in favor, please raise your hands. All right, thank you. Though it doesn't, those abstaining. Oh, Councillor Mutere, I mean, Ndati Mutere, there's one. Those abstaining. Okay, 2. All right. Thank you very much, councillors. Just give me a second to tally the votes. Yeah. All right. The results of the vote is as follows. Those in favor, 51. Those against, 29. Those abstaining from the vote, 2. I'm now going to open the vote for the agenda item with the inclusion of 55. But I see people are standing up, going somewhere. Let me just... Councillor Davies, okay, you can come in so long. I just want to... Excuse me?
We're definitely more than 29.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, Madam Speaker, the votes don't tally up. We're more than 29 that voted against.
Yeah, there's some councillors that came in. Did you count it right? Yes. Councillor Davies is saying it can't be correct that it's 29 against. No, but I counted. Because it will be 51 to... Let me just get an indication of who's leaving so that we can open the doors and close it. Master, will you count? Just go there and ask them, please. But now the EFF walked out. All right. All right. We need to correct the outcome of the votes. Apologies for that, councillors. Maybe it's my calculator that we were using. That's wrong. So the votes in favor, right, of the agenda with the exclusion of item 55, those in favor 51, those against 41, and then there were 2 councillors abstaining. Can we please correct that on the record? Thank you very much. I'm now going to open the voting process for the agenda with the items I've mentioned with the inclusion of item 55. Those in favor, please show with raise of hands. It will be the opposite. Yeah, it will swap. Well, something we have to go and work on. We'll talk after this. That's why I wanted to come brief you. We have to. All right, thank you very much. Those voting against the agenda with the inclusion of 55, please raise your hands. They will. The issue is the agency. They will. I'll explain it to them what's happening. They understand. All right, thank you very much. And then those abstaining from the vote, please raise your hands. All right, thank you very much. Just allow me a second to tally the votes. All right, thank you very much. The results are as follows. Those in favor of the agenda with inclusion of 55, 29. Those against the inclusion, 51. Those abstaining, 1. Thank you, councillors. The agenda is duly adopted with the exclusion of item 55. Prof. Snyman, clarity.
Madam Speaker,
Yes.
can you please make sure that it's shown in the minutes that the Freedom Front Plus voted against the ANC and for the inclusion of this item to prevent the ANC and its allies to cover up corruption? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
All right, no, thank you very much. Duly recorded. Councillors, can we go to the impact report? The chairperson has addressed us on the recommendations, which are on page 9. I'm on page 9 of the bundle, please. We'll need to approve those recommendations as presented, unless there are any inputs on the reports or clarity. Councillor Maswell, Councillor Snyman, you can come in that order, please.
Honourable Speaker, I'm just asking if you're going to allow us to draw the item.
Yeah. Yes, I just clarified with the Secretariat. I thought it's just 3 items, but it's fine. Let's draw the items. Just right.
May I draw the
Oh, come
item,
on.
please?
Okay. Councillor Maswell. Councillor Snyman.
Also draw this item.
Okay. Councillor Mokoko.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, let me apologize before I'm withdrawing the item. Thank you very much.
Councillor Pretorius, Councillor Snyman.
Madam Speaker, we are sitting on 12 o'clock and we actually have done nothing today. But anyway, unfortunately we already voted now for this item to serve. So unfortunately for that councillor, he cannot remove it now. It's too late.
Councillor Snyman, you can come in.
He took the words right out of my mouth. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes. The only technicality we sit with, that is the chairperson of impact that must present the report. So if he doesn't feel comfortable presenting it, it's something that we'll need to deal with. My worry is just, Councillor Mokoko, remember when I asked you to come in on your item, you advised that you are just, the report basically is just to ask for the Speaker's assistance to capacitate your committee, and that it must be noted. We've adopted the agenda. It took long to get the agreement on just letting this item stay on the agenda. So when you came in, before we voted, right, you said, and you actually were addressing me, Speaker, I need assistance with my capacity. I'm battling, I've got challenges. That is actually what your report says. If you need to discuss this matter with the ANC, perhaps that's what we should be allowed. But I'm just, in terms of procedure, we've already voted and adopted the agenda. And when you came in, you didn't advise that you want to withdraw the item. So I have that difficulty currently. Let me allow the council whip to come in. Councillor Nikelo.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think, Speaker, it is normal to really withdraw the item if you feel that it is not supposed to be presented. I understand what the speaker is saying. The procedure had already been followed in terms of doing that, but then the honorable councillor, he is withdrawing his report to the council, and therefore, as a result of that, honorable speaker, I second the withdrawal of the item as requested by Councillor Mukwakwa, and support him that the item be withdrawn and be deferred back to the meeting of the 15th as requested earlier. Thank you very much.
You can come in on your point of order, Councillor Snyman.
Madam Speaker, can the ANC please get their house in order? We had a council meeting scheduled. We had an agenda with reports. 2 hours later, we are leaving without doing anything. Is that why people voted for you? Just explain that to me, please, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Councillor Hanage can come in.
Speaker, with the greatest respect I have for the web doctor, we went through a whole process where people were withdrawing items, putting them in, putting them back in. Then we voted. The EFF walked out. The gentleman was sitting nicely on his chair, very comfortably so. He doesn't say a word. When you've concluded with the entire process, mumbling, because you can't hear a thing that he says, he wants to withdraw the item. He's insulting this house. Doctor is insulting our intelligence, and you guys are wasting our time. Make up your minds. If you want to put the items on the agenda. If you want to withdraw them, withdraw the items from the agenda. But this circus and Mickey Mouse game is not for this council.
Take your seat. There's a point of order.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Honorable councillors, we cannot allow councillor to always talk the way she does. It's totally unacceptable, Speaker. Please, Speaker, can you ask her to withdraw her words against the gentleman sitting behind, the councillor sitting behind me? Thank you.
Councillors, I mentioned that there's a chairperson of the committee that has asked that he is not comfortable to present his report. I'm not sure how we will proceed in that or that. So let's allow him to bring back his item next week when he's comfortable and when he's well placed to present his item, because if he doesn't present, what do we respond on? And that is the issue that I sit with now currently. So let's move on, councillors. Councillors, I'm not going to take any more inputs on that item, because now if I allow councillors to come in, there's points of orders, there's responses, and we now will take another hour or two just to resolve this item. So, Councillor Mokoena, can I just get clarity? Is it on clarity or is it on an addition, a point of order on any item not related to what we've just finalized?
Speaker, I can assure you it's not my intention to ever make your work difficult. And I do understand where you are if Councillor Mukwakwa wants to withdraw the item. However, Speaker, I just want to implore on you. You are the person who's supposed to ensure that this council functions lawfully, legally, and that as councillors we execute our legislative and executive function, and we provide our oversight. It can't be that this council can be rendered ineffective and not serving the people of Mangau because of the incompetences and malfunction of the executive. And we come here and you have the difficulty of having to allow us to do our work that depend to a very large extent on what the executive should be bringing to this. I really want to implore on you that this council must function, and it's your responsibility. And with that, Speaker, I just want to assure you, I would really implore on you, and I would really implore on you doing whatever you can to ensure that with the executive mayor and the whip of council, you begin this telltale signs of the dysfunction of council within 3 months. It's inappropriate. It's not serving the people of Mangaung. It is unlawful. And I don't think all of us should be proud to be walking away here because of the fact that almost half of the agenda has been withdrawn because of nothing that has got to do with our ability to want Mangaung to function, but a dysfunctional executive. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Councillor Mokwena. I'm on page 9. Item 53, the motion from the Democratic Alliance on the payment of political office bearers. Councillor Davis, you can speak, you can present your motion.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, during our council meeting on the 22nd, we took certain decisions with regards to the appointments that were made in the political offices, which you brought to council. And that has now had the effect that the PAs to the political parties have not received their salaries this month. And as I understand, if I understand it correctly, the big issue is with regards to people that got appointed in January. So I would just like us to maybe just further make recommendations on this, because it feels to me the recommendations that we made was now interpreted in a certain way, that everybody is now seen as, if I can call it, illegal workers in the political office. So that we can just state that specifically our PAs were duly appointed, were appointed correctly, and that they can receive their salaries, so that there can just be a differentiation between which are legal political appointments and which are illegal political appointments.
All right, seconded to your motion, Councillor Pretorius.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Yes, I'm not sure why this happened, but I think all our councillors and political parties feel the same way, that our personal assistants do their work and they work hard. It's actually unacceptable that we leave them without salaries this month because of council resolutions that's maybe interpreted wrong. So I want to second my colleague, Councillor Davies, on this, and maybe we must make a resolution in council today that the 3-month period must be extended for our personal assistants in every party, and that they must, in this 3 months, at least finalize their contracts so that they can get appointed permanently. And we really want to urge the Chief Whip of Council. This is his responsibility. We sat in his office in December and he promised me that we're going to get this sorted out, and we're already in March. So I want the Chief Whip to please also reply on this and give his reasons why this has happened. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any other points to note towards the motion presented by the Democratic Alliance? Any opposition to it? Councillor Nikelo? Councillor Mosala? In that order, please.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I think on this matter, Madam Speaker, perhaps maybe, yes, we may say it is maybe the issues of the interpretation of the resolution of the council in relation to the political staff. But then at the same time, Speaker, perhaps also these matters would need us to deliberate on them further in terms of understanding exactly what is it that we were referring to when we were talking about the political staff. And also the issue of the incorrect appointments that has been deliberated in this house to say the political staff was not appointed correctly. Because in my understanding, the only correct process for appointing anybody within the institution, it is when the post was advertised and people were appointed. And that is the only correct process that has been followed. But in relation to everything that has happened for all of us, because we heard that there was a time also, Madam Speaker, where these matters also were supposedly being taken to court in terms of us clarifying to say, how did we do that? Now, I want to say to the House, Speaker, the other thing perhaps maybe that I want to raise, in as far as I know, the only responsibility of the council is on appointing the Section 56 managers. That is where the council comes and then can do that, and the recommendations can be made. But in relations to any other positions that are below, it is the prerogative and the responsibilities of the administrators to make sure that there is a seamless process in terms of doing that. So I would say to the House, in order for us to deal with this particular matter, I won't advise the council to take a resolution to say this matter be an issue of the council to resolve on it. But however, it should be the matter as it was entrusted with the responsibility of the acting city manager to deal with it, to allow the city manager to follow all of those processes, or rather whatever that is it needs to follow. Well, of course, I agree to say, because it cannot happen, Honorable Speaker, that we will be sitting in this house discussing the issue of the political staff within the council instead of discussing other issues as we're supposed to be discussing them and deferred back. So I'm humbly requesting this House, Honorable Speaker, to say the multi-whippery would rather go back, sit, request the audience of the municipal manager in terms of dealing with this matter and finding an amicable solution to this. I agree that it cannot be right that there are people who have been working for the whole month. Today it is what is date? The 10th, the 12th, the 15th. But those people, they still haven't been paid. But I'm saying it looks like we are crying at the wrong funeral. So I would request all of us to go and cry at the right funeral in order for us to deal with this particular matter and ensure that the issues of the political staff, as indicated, it is discussed correctly and it is dealt in a correct manner, not in this fashion that we want to deal with it. I submit. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much. Councillor Masala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I must say that the Chief Whip has covered me exceptionally well, because everyone who is working in political offices were appointed the same way. Thank you.
All right. Are you seconding the proposal by? All right. Thank you very much. There's two proposals that the matter be referred to the Office of the Acting City Manager. Then there's a proposal from the whip of the DA that the PA's contracts be extended and they be finalized. So we are now on those two. Yes, Councillor, I'm coming to you. Councillor Davies, then Councillor Seleke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to respond to say we are not asking that council decides who gets appointed and who doesn't get appointed. All we are asking is, we took a decision on the 22nd of February. That decision now had consequences that people are not paid. All we're asking is that a differentiation should be made, which is legal political appointments and which is illegal political appointments, so that the people that is legally appointed get their salaries, while the people who's illegally appointed, obviously that's the investigation that now needs to happen and be sorted out.
All right. Council Executive Mayor, you wanted to come in after.
Thank you very much. Issues of appointments below section 57 and 56 are not matters of this House, are matters of the city manager. Queries regarding that are supposed to go to the office of the city manager. Now the differentiation on those issues, it should go to the office of the city manager. Because the city manager is empowered. Fortunately, there's even a task to investigate certain things. Now, we can't, this House, even before we get a report, differentiate this one is properly appointed or that one is not properly appointed. So I'm saying, let us not actually allow the House to discuss a matter which is about to be discussed. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Councillor Mayor. Councillor Mukwana, you can come in, and then I want to resolve the resolutions on this item.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think the point that I understood Councillor Davis to be saying is that there was a resolution taken on the basis of a report that was presented in the meeting that was held. And a resolution was taken about those specific appointments. But that resolution seems to have been interpreted to include all of those other positions that, according to Councillor Davis and myself, were appointed lawfully in terms of a particular process. Now, Speaker, and I do agree with the Executive Mayor that we can't be discussing issues of procedures of appointments of those people that are below the levels that have been indicated. But the matter is here, and it's been raised because it's been raised by those that account to political parties and that were appointed by political parties. And the whip was in the meeting in which it was agreed on the process of going ahead with those appointments. Now, I don't know, and I still say again, Honorable Speaker, I think this breakdown of the functionality of this institution, it's taking a different level, because this matter should have been addressed before it even got to this meeting, but it was never addressed. It's almost a month that people who have been lawfully appointed have not been paid because of a confusion relating to unlawful and illegal appointments. So I do agree with the Honorable Executive Mayor, but please, can you do the responsible thing that you are assigned to do? Deal with issues that are on your plate, and don't allow us to be able to can discuss things that are in your domain and in your purview, and it's your responsibility. It is executive failure that is making us to be addressing this particular matter here. You know about it, the acting city manager knows about it, the whip knows about it, the speaker knows about it. Why can you separate these issues and address those that are not part of what this council had resolved on the meeting that was held? That's the point that Councillor Davis is saying, and which is what I support. Let us not mix things, because we then all of a sudden want to punish everybody for having done the wrong things. And even those that are done right, we want to bring them into the fold. Please, Speaker, can the executive mayor do his job, please? Thank you very much.
All right. I've listened to the submissions. My understanding is that the motion is requesting for differentiation to be made about who is legal and who is illegal. The response from the council was that at this point, none of us know that. The clarification further by the mayor was, it then requires an administrative process to unfold to adequately deal with the issues of who came before January, who was there in December, and who actually is deserving of payment for the February or the future, if you should put it. I think when I'm trying now to draft a resolution, I'm not getting any indication of what would suit both submissions, because at the end of the day, there is an administrative process that must unfold, and there's a discussion that the whip has asked for by all the whips of all the political parties to further clarify these items. The council whip has also raised the processes of recruitment that he's also not sure of at this stage. So I think to also respect the very working of this house, it would be irresponsible of us to want to take resolutions when we don't have all the complete facts. I don't even have those facts currently before me. So I want now, and council must assist me here, I want a resolution that could see us getting the acting city manager to act on this, whether he reports back by next week Tuesday when we have our next meeting, or whether he must bring a final report. That is something that we must work towards, because we can't do it here in the sitting. It needs more deliberations, as the council whip has requested, and it needs more specific information, which is the duty of the executive to do. So when you come in, councillors, in concluding this matter, I need to know what resolution we need to vote on so that we can close this matter and get a working way forward. Please remember the return date of 15 March 2022, which is next week Tuesday, which could serve a purpose by actually including it to be the return date of this item. That's my suggestion. Councillor Pretorius.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I will second that proposal that we actually refer this matter to the acting city manager, and that he must please put it in his report, the same report he's going to give us on Tuesday the 15th, and then we can have a decision on that. But we agree that the acting city manager has the powers to resolve this as well, but let him come back to council with the answers. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Councillor. Just revise it here. Revise the resolution there. Okay. So on this matter, councillors, can we resolve the following: that the matter is the responsibility of the acting city manager. He must address the matter and provide a report to council by the 15th of March 2022. I am requesting a vote on that resolution so that we can close the item and move on, councillors. Okay. You want me to repeat? All right. Councillors, the sound is very bad in this hall, but let me try and repeat it. I sort of ramble very fast sometimes. So, on this item, councillors, the resolution that I want an approval or a non-support on is that the matter is the responsibility of the acting city manager. He must attend to the matter and provide a report to council by the 15th of March 2022. That is the resolution that we'll agree on. So by a show of hands, can I please have those in favor of that resolution? It's unanimous. All right, it's unanimous. Thank you very much, councillors. The recommendation is duly adopted. The last item, councillors, is the questions in terms of Rule 38. In your bundle, not the agenda, the annexes to the agenda, it's actually the last 2 pages of the bundle. There's a letter from the acting city manager who has requested that the answers to all the questions be finalized by the 31st of March 2022. Councillor Botus, apologies, I don't see your hand.
Thank you, Speaker. On this item of Rule 38, thank you firstly that it's not withdraw. Thank you for that. Secondly, I think we must describe this Rule 38 as rule disaster. When I'm saying that, and I'm honest, and I think the rest of councillors will accept that as well, it's for years that we struggle with that. We're a structure that is formal, voted in by the residents of the Mangaung. We received questions from the community that we must answer. We don't have all the answers. That's why in terms of the standing rules and orders, we're going to the administration to ask for answers on the relevant questions. Firstly, I must thank the current acting city manager who tried to compile 15 questions here, and I know it's his second week. But if you look into the previous acting city manager, I can't even remember how many, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Mia as well. We don't get answers back from that people. Also, the current mayor, who was speaker at that time in the previous term, he also said that he will intervene and see what he can arrange. He didn't have any success for us as well. Speaker, with this last question, I'm coming to you as the speaker, as our sort of mother to the councillors. Please intervene, help us that we get answers back from the administration when we submit that. Here I'm sitting with 8 of mine which is not answered. The latest one was the 3rd of March. According to this from the city manager, the last one was the 4th of March. So it means the administration or the different departments is not honest with councillors. They did not look into this as a sort of a must. And I think it's time that the acting city manager take this HODs to task and say to them, I need answers for that. It's very critical because that people is making our lives bad. Thank you, Speaker.
All right, thank you very much. Councillor Maswell.
Honorable Speaker, I would like to also comment as follows. The DA does not accept the letter received from the acting city manager. Rule 38 of the Standing Rules and Orders clearly states that all questions received prior 10 days before the ordinary council meeting must be answered and published in the ensuing meeting. The list of outstanding questions is also incomplete as many questions sent by the DA councillors are still outstanding. Another issue is prior applications that are part of this list, as the prior manual of the Mangaung Metro clearly states that prior applications must be answered within 30 days. We demand an urgent meeting with the acting city manager and all HODs within 7 days after this council meeting. The DA will give complete register of all outstanding Rule 38 questions since 2016 to the city manager and HODs. We will then give all HODs 7 days after this meeting to answer the questions. If the city manager and HODs do not adhere to our demand, the DA caucus will implement the following steps. A, all unanswered questions will be published in the media. Maybe the executive mayor can then assist with answers to these questions. And B, the DA will lay a complaint with chairperson of Standing Committee on Public Accounts, COPA, Mr. Hlengwa, to investigate why the administration of this metro restrict councillors from doing proper oversight. C, the DA will also lay a complaint with SALGA, Mr. Councillor Pakstow, to investigate HODs who do not want to answer questions. Finally, the Auditor General reflect Council for not doing proper oversight for 2020 and 2021 financial year. We will lay a complaint with the Auditor General, Mrs. Tsakani Malulek, to investigate why councillors are restricted from doing proper oversight. Madam Speaker, through you, we ask the following to Executive Mayor. several clarity-seeking questions that were asked by councillors on the reports received by councillors and not being answered yet by the executive mayor. Can the executive mayor please explain why these questions have not been answered yet? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
All right. Thank you very much. Secretariat will duly note all inputs, as well as the issue on the register that must be forthcoming. Currently, I need to understand if this request from the acting city manager of 31 March 2022 is acceptable. So we'll need to vote on the recommendation as per page. No recommendations. All right. There's no recommendations as per the agenda, but there's a request by the city manager until 31 March 2022 to, I would assume, to answer all the Rule 38 questions. So by 31 March, can we agree as council that the acting city manager must come back with answers to all those outstanding Rule 38 questions, inclusive of these ones that have been attached to the annexure? Yep. Councillor Tona?
No, thank you, Speaker and honorable councillors. I move and support to the idea that we move to the next, as you have just explained.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would now ask for those in favor of the recommendation as presented. Please show me by raising hands. I think it's unanimous. All right, it is unanimous and duly adopted as presented. Councillors, it would now seem that that brings a closure to the meeting of today. The council meeting is duly closed at 12:30 p.m. Thank you very much, councillors and officials, for attending.